Hi guys, if you're here, that means you got that last example problem wrong over subtracting integers. Now, you should have your notes beside you while you're working this out. If you don't, we're going to go ahead and write down the rules for subtracting integers. Now, subtracting integers are very similar to adding integers, except you have one extra step. So step number 1, you should do keep, change, change. Now, I have students who ask me often, when do I use keep, change, change? You use keep, change, change when there's a minus sign between two integers. That's when you use it. Then you're going to do your second step, and that's where you ask yourself, after you've done keep, change, change, same sign. We're going to add and keep. Different sign. We're going to subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. If you do not have these rules, if you have not been taking your notes or you're not to your notes, write all of this down because you will need this. Now, what I would do first while working this out is I would write KCC, like keep, change, change. I'm going to keep my 19. I'm going to change that minus sign to a plus sign, and I'm going to change that negative 19 to a positive 19. Now I got 19 plus 19, so then you can go, are my signs the same or different? They're the same, so I'm just going to do 19 plus 19, because it says add. And now I got 38. And then we're going to keep the sign. They're both positive, so my answer is positive 38. Let's do a few examples before you go on to your next problems. So let's say I have negative 4 minus 13. We're going to do keep, change, change again. Keep, change, change. The reason I know to do this is because there's a minus sign. I'm going to keep my negative 4. I'm going to change that minus sign to a plus sign, and I'm going to change that 13 into a negative 13. We're going to follow our rules again. Are the signs the same or different? They're both negative, so that means they're the same, and I'm going to add. So I'm going to do 13 plus 4. That gets me 17. It says add and keep. So I'm going to keep the sign. They're both negative, so my answer is negative 17. Let's go on to another one. Let's say you have 16 minus 21. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to do the same thing again because there's a minus sign. And whenever you're subtracting and the second number is bigger than the first one, you can't subtract this easily. So we're going to do keep, change, change. Keep that 16, change that minus sign to a plus sign, change that 21 into a negative 21. Now we're here, so we have to ask ourselves, are the signs the same or different? I have a positive and a negative, so they're different. My next step is to subtract, so I'm going to do 21 minus 16. Borrow from the 2, that becomes 11 minus 6 gets me 5. 1 minus 1 gets me 0. My answer is 5. I'm going to check the rule. It says, and keep the sign of the larger number. The larger number is negative 21, so my answer is negative 5. All right, let's do one last one before I want you to go to your example. Let's say you have 22 plus, no, not plus, minus negative 13. Again, we're going to do keep, change, change. Keep that 22, change that minus sign to a plus sign, change that 13 to a negative 13 to a positive 13. My signs are the same, so I'm going to add them. 5, 3. My answer is 35. My signs were the same, so I'm going to add and keep the sign. They're both positive, so my answer is positive 35. Go ahead and scroll down and work on the problems below to see if you got the correct answer.